Good afternoon. We're convening the Committee on Water, Land, Culture, and the Arts on our 1 p.m. agenda here in State Capitol Conference Room 224. We have a number of House bills on the agenda today, so we'd ask everyone to make sure your written testimony is submitted, and we'll be limiting folks to 1 minute to make sure that we have time to get through all the bills on the agenda and hear from all the different folks seeking to weigh in. So with that, up first is House Bill 1860 relating to the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra, which designates the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra as the State of Hawaii Orchestra and requires reporting. And testifying first is the State Foundation on Culture and the Arts. Oh, online.
Yes, hello, Chair Lee and members of the committee. I'm Karen Ewell. I'm the Executive Director for the State Foundation on Culture and the Arts, and we stand on our written testimony in support.
Thank you. Up next is the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra. Good afternoon.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Dane Lamb, Music and Artistic Director of the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra. We, of course, stand on our testimony in vociferous support of this bill. I just wanted to add a tiny bit more context around the bill in that the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra, apart from all the mental health, all the social cohesion benefits that it brings to the community, artistic and cultural benefits, we are the largest nonprofit and the largest employer in the performing arts in the state. Not just our 84 musicians, it's all our crew, it's all our back of house, it's all our programming staff, and the ripple effect on the economy is really massive from having a state orchestra. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Testifying next is the Hawaii Youth Symphony.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. I'm Randy Wong, President and CEO of the Hawaii Youth Symphony. We submitted written testimony, and just to expand and actually play a little bit of chamber music with Maestro's comments here on the ripple effect. These musicians that are in the orchestra are also our teachers. They inspire our youth. They help them to become really the best young people that they can be. And so your support of this bill also helps to provide that service far beyond just the concert hall. Mahalo.
Thank you. I believe that is everybody who signed up to testify on HB 1860, although we have a ton of written testimony in support. Is there anyone else here wishing to testify on this measure? Seeing none, are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next measure on the agenda, HB 1815, relating to the State Foundation on Culture and the Arts, which applies the existing grant standards to the Performing Arts Grants Program that we enacted last year. And testifying first is the State Foundation on Culture and the Arts.
Hello, Karen Ewald again, Chair Lee and members of the committee, State Foundation on Culture and the Arts. We stand on our written testimony in strong support of this measure. This would allow for us to administer the Performing Arts Grants Fund in a very efficient way. So we really hope that this bill passes through. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, that is everyone who signed up to testify on HB 1815. Is there anyone else here wishing to testify on this measure? Seeing none, are there any questions? Seeing none. All right, thank you. Moving right along to the next measure, HB 2117, relating to the arts, which establishes a mapping of arts data for education task force to conduct a study and develop comprehensive publicly available statewide database and geographic information systems map of arts entities and programs engaged in arts and arts education. Testifying first on HB 2117 is the Attorney General. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair.
Good afternoon.
Senator. I'm Ian Robertson, Deputy Attorney General. We submitted testimony suggesting a small amendment to this bill to make it clear that this is a temporary task force. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next is the State Foundation on Culture and the Arts.
Hello again, State Foundation on Culture and the Arts. We stand on our written testimony and support. It's been a real pleasure getting to understand this data mapping project with Arts First Partners and Randy, and we look forward to seeing this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development, PSD. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, member of the committee. My name is Arthur Buto. I'm here for Mary Alice Evans, the Director of the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. We stand on our written testimony in support of this measure, and I'm available for any questions about GIS, Geographic Information Systems. Thank you.
Thank you. Testifying next is Creative Industries at DPED.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, Senator. We stand behind our written testimony in support of this bill.
Thank you. And up next is the Hawaii Youth Symphony.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Thank you again for hearing this bill. This is something that really stands to benefit a lot of arts organizations, arts educators, folks really all across the sector, not benefiting any one single organization or any one single art form. This is a challenge that's been very difficult to overcome without state help. And the whole idea is, what is the opportunity gap available for us to fill so that more kids can have more equitable access to arts education? So thank you for your interest, and mahalo.
Thank you. That's everyone who had signed up to testify on SB 2117. Is there anyone else wishing to testify in this measure? Seeing none, are there questions?
I have a question for Attorney General. It's not, I'm not in opposition to your recommendation, by the way, but just interesting because of the language that we used, shall thereafter be dissolved after 20, I have no problem with that, but in some of the measures that we normally pass,
Yeah.
you know, it says it sunsets at certain date. So is that an unusual, I mean, do we change the language ever so often, or that's the language that we use more when we want to sunset a particular,
In this particular instance, the reason that we are suggesting to put in this clarifying amendment is because the task force isn't established within any
within
department.
any department?
Yeah,
But
and
that's what I
that
kind of
creates
thought
the
about it,
constitutional
but
issue.
I thought
Yeah.
I'd let you answer that because I've
Yeah.
never seen this language used, very rarely.
Yeah,
I've
what-
seen,
when they're established within a department, then this
Yeah.
it wouldn't be an issue.
okay.
Yeah.
We learn something every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any
Okay,
further
thank you.
questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Seeing none, all right, let's move on to the next measure, HB 2426, relating to state parks, which authorizes and appropriates funds for the expansion of the Wailuku River State Park and authorizes DLNR to exercise the power of eminent domain for the expansion of Wailuku River State Park. Actually, you know what? Just for a sec, as we're transitioning into the water land measures, let's take a quick recess. Recess. Thank you. We're reconvening the Committee on Water and Land on our 1 p.m. agenda. We're on HB 2426 relating to state parks. This authorizes and appropriates funds for the expansion of Wailuku River State Park and authorizes DLNR to exercise the power of eminent domain for the expansion of said park. And testifying first is DLNR.
Kat Tomczyk for DLNR, standing on our testimony in support.
Thank you. We also have signed up Erin Lee. Oh, I think you're muted. You could unmute yourself.
Sure. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Chairman Lee, members of the committee. I'm here to testify on HB 2426. I think I sent a pretty lengthy PDF to most of the members of this committee about why I oppose this measure. I think the main thing is that it removes land that could be used for housing from the potential supply of housing at below, and we have
Okay.
quite a over here of housing. Also, if the park is built there, I mean, 203 acres is huge. It would probably not ever be fully used. It would also be very costly to the public in terms of acquiring the land, building the park, and maintaining it. And I think the potential use of eminent domain is, I think it should be a concern to everybody. I'm not sure if there's enough of a public interest in building a park here to use that power. And lastly, I heard a speaker earlier talking about how money for the arts will benefit many groups. HB 2426 will basically just benefit the neighbors who said they don't want to have
Thank you.
neighbors.
Please summarize.
Okay. In summary, I think this is an unnecessary measure, and I ask that you defer it or stop it by any means that you deem necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's everyone who signed up to testify on HB 2426. Is there anyone else wishing to testify in this measure? Seeing none, are there any questions?
Can I call Mr. Lee? That's in my district as well.
Yes.
Aaron,
There you are.
thanks for being available today, but it seemed like the video we caught was a little garbled, so I didn't understand most of what you were saying. So you're in opposition to this measure?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you one of those parcels that is part of the eminent domain?
No.
No.
I believe they are all owned by the Bikini Atoll.
So the yeah, you're not one of the TMKs that's listed in this bill?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so you're but you live within the area at Kaumana?
Yes, I've lived in Hilo most of my
Are you,
entire life.
where are you? Are you at Wainuinui Avenue or somewhere close?
I'm on Wilder Road, so not that far away.
Where, I'm sorry, it's kind of garbled what we're hearing. What's your address? What street?
Wilder Road, South Wilder Road.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, you're my constituent, so I just wanted to make sure that, you know, what your stance is, but I thank you for taking time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, Parks. Manu. Though Parks is supportive, but the recommendation is not the same as what the bill calls for. So because you're recommending that it be CIP separate from the budget items that you already, what Parks is already committed in its authority.
So first off, thank you, Senator, for asking. State Parks is going to be working with Land Division first we have to do the acquiring of the property, and then we would be doing possible CIP and/or our own funds to manage the lands. The only thing that down the line that we would be asking for would probably be, as of right now that I know of, is positions to help maintain. This process is just the first step in the planning, and so I wasn't at the actual site visit. Chair and Alan were there, and so they were there with Rep. Cush as well, and so they've kind of led the direction of the testimony. And unfortunately, any other question I'm going to have to write down and get back to you.
Sure, no problem. We'll see how the measure moves along.
And I'll let-
But thanks for being here.
I'll let Alan know so he can stop by if you have any other questions.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you,
And,
Senator.
yeah, well, another thing is, those TMKs, are you familiar if they're acceptable to within this?
My understanding is they are, and that they are working with the people who actually have the property.
Okay, because eminent domain normally is market value?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have an idea what the cost
Not
of
at this time, I do not.
Okay, all right. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any further questions? All right, seeing none, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Let's move on to the next measure, excuse me, next measure, HB 1881 relating to land use, which prohibits passenger ropeways on mountain lands within land use districts. Testifying first on HB 1881 is Keep the North Shore Country on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, that's everyone who had signed up to testify. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on HB 1881? Seeing none. All right. Seeing as there's no one to ask questions of, why don't we then?
Do we, Chair,
Yes.
do we have any communication from those that were the owner of the property? No
This-
one's here?
There's no one here testifying.
So we don't know who the builders are for this particular project?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you, Chair.
Okay. Let's move on to the next measure, HB 1918, relating to taxation, which imposes conveyance tax on the transfer of controlling interest of an entity with an interest in real property and makes other related amendments. Testifying first on 1918 is the Department of Taxation.
Chair, Vice Chair, Senators, Clinton Piper, Department of Taxation, will stand on our written comments available for questions.
Thank you. Up next is the Grassroots Institute, excuse me, online.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, thank you. That's everyone who had signed up to testify on 1918. Is there anyone else wishing to testify in this measure? Seeing none, are there any questions?
Yeah, Tax Department again. Can you explain what this does? It's transferring the acquisition or something?
Yes, so essentially what this is attempting to do is close a perceived loophole in the conveyance property tax. As it stands right now, if a property is conveyed from party A to party B and the sale of property, there is a conveyance tax
Sure,
assessed.
yes.
There is, however, a what's sometimes referred to as a drop kick exception, where a corporation or an entity will drop the property into a shell company and then sell the interest in that shell company. So there's not actually a transfer of the title and thus no conveyance tax. This attempts to close that perceived loophole. There have been versions of this bill addressed in prior years.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Anybody
you.
else? Seeing none, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to HB 1802, relating to conservation mitigation banks, which authorizes DLNR and other entities to operate conservation banks, subject to approval of BLNR, among other amendments. Testifying first on 1802 is the Department of Land and Natural Resources. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yes. DLNR on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, up next is, oh, that's it. That's everyone who had signed to testify. Is there anyone else wishing to testify in this measure? Hearing none. Are there any questions? I guess there's no one to ask questions of. So we'll move on to.
No DLNR today?
I don't believe State Parks is the division assigned to this one.
Really? Oh, okay, so you're not.
This is a DOFA.
DLNR, Land Division.
Yeah. And we'll see if they show up. We've
Okay,
got
all right.
another bill yet. Moving on to HB 2544, relating to administrative fees.
Oh, DOFA,
This
yeah.
makes permanent rather than repealing upon adoption of relevant admin rules, DLNR's authority to establish fees for services rendered by the Bureau of Conveyances, and so on and so forth. Testifying first on 2544 is DLNR.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Mike Hill. I'm the registrar and expanding support and answering questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, HGEA. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members. Nui Sebas for HGA. We'll stand on our testimony in opposition to this measure, and we'll respectfully request an amendment to include a 2-year sunset on the use of qualified contractors. Thank you.
Thank you. That's everyone who had signed up to testify on 2544. Is there anyone else wishing to testify in this measure? Seeing none, are there any questions?
Yes.
Vice Chair.
Tell me.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Good afternoon. Good to see you here as well. So right now, there's no fees, no transactions available.
We do have a transaction fee, and that's part of the recording fees that goes, part of our recording fees, yes.
Okay. So are we adding more
Yes,
fees?
so what we're
Oh,
doing is,
okay.
so right now, recording documents for regular system documents is $41. And to record a land court document, it's $36. So all this bill is trying to do is just to equalize the fees that were implemented years back.
Okay, but you're paying the land court fees, or the land court fees, the land court pays for it?
There, we have, the Bureau of Conveyances consists of two systems of recording.
Yes,
A regular
sure.
system and land court. So yes, it's part of the fees to record a land court document.
Okay, and reason I asked, because there's a bill, I guess you know, there's a bill trying to get rid of the land court.
It's to perhaps reform. and
Yes,
there's
reform
a working
and
group.
get rid of the land court. So, no, I always thought that with the second part, the land court, that the fees were coming out of, not from your office, not from the,
Well, there's land court judiciary that has their own fees as well. But for recording per se, we have the land court recording fees, which is $36. And
so you're going, so currently, what was the cost you said?
currently for a land court
30
document, it's $36.
36, okay.
Under 50 pages. And for a regular system document, it's $41 under 50 pages. So basically, all we're trying to do is just equalize the fees to $41.41.
For both?
Correct, because it's, the regular system documents are already at $41, so we're just
Oh,
trying to
okay.
equalize the fees.
I see, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none. All right, thank you. That's the end of our 1 p.m. agenda. Thanks everyone for your patience. We're going to go into decision-making on these measures, and I'll just note, we're going to split the agenda. There were 3 bills relating to culture and arts that we'll vote on now. The rest of the measures on the agenda, which all relate to water and land issues, which are HB 2426, HB 1881, HB 1918, HB 1802, and HB 2544 will defer for decision-making to this Wednesday here in this room, conference room 224, at the end of our 1 p.m. agenda.
Okay. Just a correction, so 24, 26, and all of the next page.
Right.
Okay, all right.
So we'll be voting just on the first 3 today.
So we're deferring decision-making when, again?
To Wednesday here in this room at this time.
Is that the 18th?
Yes, Wednesday, the 18th.
Okay, all right.
That just gives a little time to sort out some of the more technical issues that
Sure.
some of the testimony raised.
1 second.
So all going to be with amendments.
Okay.
The first 3.
All amendments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so beginning with HB 1860 relating to the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra, which designates the orchestra as the state of Hawaii Symphony Orchestra requires reporting. I'd like to move this on with amendments. First, we'll remove section 3 from the measure, which is the appropriation section, and we'll change the date to upon approval. So any discussion, any questions? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote,
Yes.
Chair votes aye.
Chair's recommendation on HB 1860, House Draft 2, to pass with amendments. Chair Lee.
Aye.
Okay, Vice Chair goes aye. Senator Chang.
Aye.
Senator Lamosao.
Aye.
And Senator Decourt.
Aye.
Measure is adopted, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Moving on to HB 1815 relating to the State Foundation of Culture and the Arts, which applies the existing grant standards to performing arts grants. I'd like to recommend moving this along as well with amendments, changing the effective date to July 13th, 2085. There's no discussion on that, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Chair's recommendation on HB 1815, House Draft 1, to pass with amendments with 5 members present. Any voting with reservations? Any no votes? Measure is adopted, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And finally, on HB 2117 relating to the arts, which establishes a mapping of arts data project, I'd like to recommend passing with amendments, adopting the AG amendments, which would insert a sunset date on the task force of 2029. And that's it. If there's no discussion, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Chair's recommendation on HB 2117, House Draft 2, to pass with amendments with 5 members present. Any voting with reservations? Any no votes? Measure is adopted, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And as I mentioned on the rest of the bills on the agenda, HB 2426, HB 1881, HB 1918, HB 1802, and HB 2544 will be deferring decision-making until this Wednesday, the 18th, here in State Capitol Conference Room 224 at the end of our 1 p.m. agenda. And with that, we're adjourned.